What's going on, everybody? As you guys can see, we're starting to pile up in the room here. We're running out of room here, guys. Yeah, we got some things to talk about here. So the main focus of today's video, before I start getting on a tangent, is we're going to be upgrading our DL380 Gen 9 here. This is our primary spinning Rust server. That's going to have most of our large storage volumes for things like backups and everything that's basically not running on SSDs. So to give you kind of a rundown for everybody who's new here, we've got a 6x6 36 terabyte array right here. This is RAID 0, and then we've got attached to the G9, we've got a I forgot what RAID controller is in here. We got a P840AR as the internal RAID controller for these bays, and then attached to the D3600s, which I have two of right there, as you guys can see, two D3600s. We've got like a P240, I think, or a P420 or something like that, and just a generic RAID controller. Like I said, this is a 36 terabyte RAID array. This is I believe a 30 terabyte array, a little over 30. This is a RAID 5, this is a RAID 0. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then there's a couple miscellaneous discs here. This thing's pretty dusty. I haven't really pulled the covers off in a bit. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get this guy upgraded today. We're going to be gutting out the Z840 over there. That has a fried power supply, which is now confirmed. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade these guys. Another thing I want to talk about before I do get started on these guys is just the general state of the room right now. Okay, let's try that again where we're actually focused. So, I got this rack from one of my jobs. This is pretty much garbage. It was going to get tossed out, so I was like, might as well take it. So, here it is. 42U APC rack. This is going to house all my, I think all of that stuff is going to go in there. And then I'm going to be starting a smaller rack, which is going to be 12U. That's going to go right underneath there. That way, this area is kind of clear. This rack is going to be going. This rack is going to be disassembled. This 27U. We're going to do move a lot of this stuff into this rack, and then these guys, these three machines right here, will be the start of the 12U rack. Now, these servers are going to be used for some new development testing. We're going to be testing out some NVMe storage. We're going to test out some machine learning stuff with some NVIDIA graphics cards, some NVIDIA Tesla graphics cards. We're going to be testing some AI and machine learning stuff with large language models. I'm also going to be doing a deep dive into neural networks, not on these two, but on a different system that's going to be coming later. But yeah, that's what the plan is for these guys. These will obviously be a part of the Homelab series, but it's going to be a little bit before I get the stuff for this. So these are kind of like on the back burner. Mac Pro is obviously still the Mac Pro. I have a video coming on that soon. We're going to be throwing in all our graphics cards, our high-speed networking, our NVMe arrays, all that good stuff. And then as far as the monitors go, I had a problem with this one, so I'm thinking about changing out from that 27 to I'm thinking about selling the 27s and going to 32s, but not really too sure about that yet. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of what we're up to today. As you guys can see, we are really running out of room here. I think I'm going to have to end up moving the rack a little bit over that way, and then the 12Bs can go underneath there. Or it might go right on the side of the desk, as long as it's like not interfering with anything. Haven't really decided yet, but I would really like to clear off this space over here, at least a little bit. So I like to be able to access the blinds and the windows back there, and yeah, we don't need two full racks here. So another thing I got is this APC net shelter, like sliding shelf. We're gonna be putting that in there probably in this video, maybe not. This is more of like a whole video on its own, really. But yeah, enough rambling. Let's go ahead and get started on upgrading that G9 here. Alright, so back to the video. It's like a week later. A lot has changed, as you guys can see. We've got craziness going on around here. Yeah, so the main purpose of today, we're focusing on the G9, but I do want to go over some small stuff real quick. I think I've already talked about this, but this is the 42U rack that I'm going to be moving all this stuff into. All this is going to be going into the 42U rack in one of the videos to come. As you can see here, we just got the Mac Pro in there temporarily. That's not going to be going in this rack. It's going to be moving into a different rack with these machines right here. So right now I currently have 4 racks, which is absolutely insane for one house. The 42U we can see here, the 27U, and if I come out here, you guys can see the 3rd rack, which is this guy right here, flanked by some more server parts. And yeah, this is a 20... I actually don't know how many units this is. I don't know how many rack units this is, but yeah, I'm not going to be using this right now, I don't think. Mainly because it's old and it's kind of scratched up, and I got it for free pretty much. So what I'm going to be doing with this guy, it's not going to fit anywhere in the room right now. That's why it's out here in the living room. So yeah, lots of crazy things going on here. As you can see, we've got some more goodies. You'll probably see about that stuff in the next video or so. Back to the server room here. Main focus of today's video is the Gen 9 Rust server. We're going to be taking out the processors from the Z840, and we're going to be putting it into there, as well as the RAM as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. We're going to go ahead and unplug all this, because this is all going to go away into this rack anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug everything, and then I'll get back to you once all that's done. So before I don't like doing the whole face-to-face thing, but before I get to like in the nitty-gritty of things, I want to just take the time to say thank you to everybody that watches the videos, man. A lot of this is the support I've been receiving on the videos just this past year has been absolutely insane, and I just think it's awesome, man, that so many people enjoy watching the content. Hang on just 1 second. Yeah, I don't even know what I was saying, but yeah, I just want to say thank you guys. You know, the support means the world to me. I've been trying to convey that the best I can through comments, but seriously, guys, the fact that you guys enjoy these videos is just awesome. So I'm happy to keep making them. So thank you guys so much for the support on all the videos. It means the world to me. And I'm also just very grateful that I'm in a place surrounded by servers and server racks and things of that nature. So I just think it's so awesome. It's such a blessing to be able to have all this equipment, be surrounded by all this equipment, and get paid to work on equipment. Not only at work, but at home as well. And it's crazy, man. But anyway, enough yapping, enough showing my face here. Thank you guys for the support, and let's get back to the video. Alright, so this thing will focus. Here we've got the specs. As you guys can see, we've got, focus, 2 Xeon E5 2640 V4s at 2.4 gigahertz, 64 gigs of RAM, and that's pretty much it. This thing's having problems focusing because the screen flickers on this thing, but yeah. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing upgraded here. Sorry for the focus issues, but we've got a few VMs here. So you guys can see, nothing too crazy. This is just a Rust server, so primarily just for backups and stuff. We don't need a crazy amount of VMs. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started on unplugging everything and getting the Z840 tore down. Alright, so here is the inside of the Z840 here. As you guys can see, we've got the liquid cooled heat sinks. All the goodies have been pulled out to go inside the Mac Pro. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the tripod, and we can go ahead and start disassembling this here. Alright, so hopefully this angle worked out pretty alright. As you guys can see, we've got the water-cooled heat sinks and our memory, which we're only after the processors that are underneath the heatsink and memory anyway. So let's go ahead and get started here. I've got my really long screwdriver, so I'm just going to go in a star pattern. Oh, I need a flathead for this. Alright, so I've got this interesting screwdriver thing here, so I'm going to see if it's actually going to work or not. Let's see. Man, I don't like this one bit. I guess it's working. Alright. And then... Alrighty, so we got the heat sinks out here. As you guys can see, we've got the heat sinks out here. We've got our handy dandy thermal compound removal kit here, and a microfiber cloth. So let's go ahead and get started on cleaning off these processors here. I actually forgot what processors are in this thing. I think they're dual 12 cores at 3 gigahertz, but I am not too sure, honestly. It's been a while since I've done anything with this machine. It doesn't seem like there's a good use for it anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and get these guys out. And I've had this thing for ages. I've had this thing for years, and it's just sat for the most part. So it's kind of a little bit unfortunate there, but whatever. People did seem to enjoy it in the Hackintosh series, so I might revive this thing one day. Probably not, though. I just have bigger and better projects coming up that are going to make more sense to put time and money into. So, alright, let's go ahead and see what we've got here. This is a 2687 WV4. So that is a 3 gigahertz processor. I think they're 12 cores. I'm not too sure. I'm positive that these are 12 cores, but I could be wrong. 3 gigahertz, 12 core seems to make the most sense. Obviously, if I'm wrong, I'll put it on the screen so you guys can see my mistakes. But okay, thermal compounds cleaned off. 2687W version 4 at 3 gigahertz. Very cool. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get these guys removed. I'm gonna get them on a nice anti-static surface, get the RAM out, and go from there. Alright, so we got everything went ahead and pulled out here. We've got 128 gigabytes of DDR4 2133 megahertz, as you guys can see. 128 gigs of that. And here are the processors, if I can show you. This is probably not going to focus, but boom, just like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and move this stuff off. I'm going to put the Z840 back into storage. Let's get the DL380 G9 unracked and on the bench over here. Alright, so as you guys can probably tell from the lack of background noise, everything is unplugged. We got the DL380 all unracked here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is remove the RAM first. I do know that these 380s are just a little bit finicky when it comes to placement of the memory modules. So I'm going to have to refer to the little chart right here on the shroud there. So now I'm going to go ahead and get my ratcheting screwdriver from before. We should be able just to pop these heat sinks off here. Now I'm going to support the server. Alright, wow. Interesting. Whoa, what? What in the world happened there? It's like the thermal paste didn't even spread out on that one. I must not have had it tightened down all the way. Wow. That is absolutely insane. Okay, so goodness gracious, man. Wow. Okay. Jesus. Alright, now hopefully this is not the same. But that would explain why the fans would always ramp up pretty frequently. Man, that doesn't make any sense though. How did it just... Is that processor just not active? Like what is... Well, no, it wouldn't make any sense because it wouldn't have detected it. Man, that's weird. Yeah, this one just fine. But man, that is very weird. But anyway, okay, now I guess we'll go ahead and pop these old processors out and put the new ones back in. So to unlock first, open lever, boom, just like that. Easy day. And I'm just gonna go ahead and grab this like so. All right. It did scrape the bottom of the pin there, but I'm not really too worried about it. All right, so the little notch is gonna be... Where's the notch at on this one? Oh, it's right here. Yeah, that's a little notch piece. All right. Yep, and there's also a little notch at the top here, so... Alright, so got one CPU all in. I'm gonna go ahead here and just close this up, and it says close this lever first, so that's what we're gonna do. And just like that, CPU's in. And we did have a little notch on this side, so I'm gonna go ahead and open this guy first. Alright, and we should just be able to grab this here. Alright. Easy. Oh, goodness gracious. Alright. Alright, and that's our... goodness, keep hitting the damn tripod. Alright, and that's our processors in. Now, as far as the memory goes, this is the chart right here. Not very easy to see, but I'm pretty sure it's just the white slots first. I'm pretty sure it's just the white slots first, but if we have a problem, then obviously we'll just reseat the memory. So I'm gonna go ahead and start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we have 8 sticks in total. 8 16 gig sticks, 328. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started here. We're not going to be reusing these 32 gig sticks. Just because we're trying to keep things consistent here. And I do have plans for those 32 gig sticks anyway. So, let's go ahead and just populate the white slots first. Alright. Okay, all 128 gigs in. Now for the thermal paste, we're gonna toss some thermal paste on there. We're gonna clean off the old heat sinks, and yeah. All right, so we've got everything back in. I just used some fresh thermal tape TG4. Of course, focus is not gonna work. So what happened the first time was I didn't press down hard enough on the screws, and they just barely caught. I guess that's why it didn't completely overheat. Anyway, I just thought that was very dumb that I didn't do that. I've done countless processor upgrades, not only here but at work as well, and that's never happened before. So note to self, pay more attention when dealing with these HP spring-loaded heat sinks. But upgrade's done. We can go ahead and button this thing back up now, reconnect it, and see what it says as far as processor and memory. Alright guys, here we are. As you guys can see, it's got a bad glare, but there we are. 128 gigs of RAM, 2 Intel Xeon E5 2687W version 4 at 3 gigahertz. So, 24 cores to 3 gigahertz, plenty of fast compute for us. Way overkill for what we're doing with just Rust servers, or a Rust server. If you're not familiar with the setup, yeah, here it is. This is all going to be going into this rack over here. Like I said, all this is temporary. That's going to go in a different rack. That should be here in a little bit, actually. This is going to go in a 12U rack that's going to go underneath the desk, so I can have this space more open and free. This is going to go away. As you can see, it's booting into ESXi now, so that is good to go. We are connected to the D3600s. And yeah, I'd say that was a success. I'm very happy with the way this came out. Very easily processed. The rack rails, guys, 100%. If you don't have rack rails, please go get the rack rails. Game changer. Not having to unrack everything and take all the machines off on top of it is just beautiful. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I'm gonna let this boot into ESXi and just double check that it sees everything. Let's go ahead and see here, and it does see everything, which is perfect. And yeah, there we have it, guys. Perfect. So thanks guys for watching, and you guys will see the next video on building the rack that this stuff's gonna go into very soon. So talk to you later, and thanks for watching.